This week's episode of Weekly Tech Update is brought to you by Audible.com. Get a free audiobook download at audibletrial.com/WTU. There are now well over 180,000 titles to choose from for your iPhone, Android, Windows Phone, or your Kindle. Well, good day there, and welcome to episode number 345 of Weekly Tech Update for February 26, 2016. In this episode, we are discussing that Twitter is losing, the Samsung Galaxy S7 could be winning, and Opera is selling. Stay tuned for those stories and more here on your Weekly Tech Update. Well, it is a fantastic day. I don't know what the groundhog said, but it is beautiful for February in BCC HQ South. I am basking in the breeze coming through the window. In Canada, I'm Benjamin Hyde, BCC HQ South.
And broadcasting down the road, still in Canada, but still a little more south than you, I'm Jason Schneider.
Oh man, it is a gorgeous day.
Yeah.
We may pay for that later. Winter can't be over yet. I think we had about a week of it, maybe two. But either way, man, it's gorgeous out there.
We'll probably have 2 feet of snow next week, so got that to look forward to.
Probably just in time for Volkland.
Yeah.
2 feet of snow.
At least nobody will have any excuses. You know, if it snows, then it's like, well, you know, I can't be mowing my lawn or anything. I should be
exactly. Might as well come play
playing computer games.
Absolutely.
And I'm sure there's a few people that are actually practicing for that. I am not one of those people.
I'm not one of those people either.
I'm going to wing it.
Yep. Oh yeah. I'm winging it this year. Did play some T-Worlds the other day. Realized that I hated it just as much now as I did back then, so I quit after like 3 minutes.
Still never played it, so I'm going to really wing that game. But anyways, our annual LAN party that we kind of put on as a BCC hardware, I guess it's our yearly event, 14 years running.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it'll be here in a couple weeks, and we can then get embarrassed by 12-year-olds, and pretty awesome. Well,
okay, in T-Worlds, yes. In Unreal Tournament, I'm still like, I'm Zeus.
Mediocre
right?
at best. Yeah, we know.
Exactly. Oh yes, mediocre at best is true.
Yeah,
either way,
that's how probably you can define gaming when you don't actually ever play video games anymore. So.
Oh well, it'll be fun.
Anyways, for some reason, we're gluttons for punishment. We keep putting this thing on. People seem to like it. Maybe it's just they like to play people like us and can win for 4 days straight.
It's a great ego booster right there.
Yeah, exactly. So
either way, it's going to be fun. Almost got a full sold out event this year. Looking forward to it. It's going to be great. In the meantime, there's some other great stuff that we talked.
What a segue. Where do you want to start?
Well, I want to start with some great internet, because everybody wishes their internet was a little bit better.
Nobody has ever said, my internet's probably fast enough.
Or too fast, right?
Yeah, it's too fast. Could you please turn it down? I need, this is too much for me.
It's too much. No one says that. And the reason why, but if someone ever wanted faster internet, there's a new breakthrough that enables downloads just a mere, 10 times faster than current downloads? Something like that?
Something like that. I just posted this because I thought it sounded fun. But, oh, wait a minute. It's not gigabit. It's terabit. It's actually 1.125 terabits. They've some guys over in London figured out how they can make it go that fast.
That's impressive.
So right now, this isn't from an Australian source. So they classify high-speed internet at 25 megabits a second. I think you could probably consider high-speed 25 megabytes per second pretty much anywhere. Yeah. It's probably on the little lower end of things now, but 25 megabits is what they classify it as. So this would only be 45,000 times faster.
Yeah. That's noticeable. Like sometimes, upgrades are not really noticeable. That would be a noticeable upgrade.
So currently right now you can get 100 gigabit, not internet, but network connections. So even So that would be definitely an enterprise level product. You wouldn't,
Right.
you really couldn't put that in your computer because your computer probably couldn't even keep up with that.
Well, your drives,
Regardless,
yeah, gosh.
multiply that by 11, and you now have this new terabit that they've figured out. Obviously, these are their preliminary numbers. Real world numbers, probably you'd probably just be able to break a terabit. So
Yeah.
I'd say 10% slower than what they're saying, but still,
Gosh, that's
fast.
that much overhead, huh? 10%. That's too bad.
that's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, when you're considering like fast hard drives today, like a mechanical drive will write it, maybe 120, 140 megabytes per second. You'd have to have an insane.
That's about a gigabit.
Yeah, that's right. One gigabit.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd have to have 1,000. You know, I mean, the rate. I mean,
1125.
exactly. 1125 somehow. Oh my word, that's
Chained
amazing.
together.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So, you know, of course, this is. I mean, just theoretical, really, at this point. But they're using 50 in order to do this. The article says it takes 15 separate fiber optic strands running into a single receiver. So, in order to get that kind of speed, you need 15 fiber connections. That's fiber strand. That
No big deal. I think most people have that.
yeah. Well, either way, good on them.
Anyways, they're pushing the limits.
I would say so.
First off, I would like gigabit internet, but yeah, one day we'll look back and it'll be like, yeah, you got terabit internet on your phone, don't you?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe
And
for sure.
your kids will complain because they only have gigabit or 100 gigabit, and all their friends have terabit internet on their cell phones, and
Yeah.
you'll look like a bad parent because you don't think they need that much data. Basically, yeah.
45,000 times faster than 25 megabit.
You could, yeah. So their comparison is you could download the entire Game of Thrones series in a fraction of a second.
Exactly.
That's fast.
That's pretty quick.
Yeah. So I'm going to allow this because they're calling it super fast broadband, and I will allow it for the record.
Okay. Well, thanks for your
Bold predictions.
exactly. There you
That's
go.
why you pay me the big bucks.
Exactly. Well, hey, let's go on to another story here. This one actually I saw this one, and this one made me excited. Microsoft is has a job listing suggesting HTC is going to be making Windows 10 mobile devices. Because according to some people, Windows Mobile is dead. Windows Phone is dead. And we talked a couple weeks ago about the fact that it may be more than Windows Phone. I mean, what Microsoft needs to do is to get other manufacturers involved in making Windows devices. HTC is a great choice, in my opinion.
Well, it's definitely a good start. I wouldn't just be stopping with HTC,
No,
but
no.
it is definitely a good start. I think this is what we recommended that they do. Nokia is a good name, but you need some selection. You need more than, Nokia's got a few models, but it's kind of their low, medium, high range.
Yeah.
Let someone else put it on their phone. Let a whole bunch of people put their on their phone. Let them come up with cool features that are going to sell people. And yeah, so this is a good thing that HTC is looking at doing that. Is it too little, too late?
Well,
Maybe,
it could be.
But
Could be, yeah.
but the whole idea of letting everybody run with the product and kind of going with their own vision sure worked wonders for Android. So
It exactly, it did. Time will tell, but Windows or HTC actually had a Windows Phone edition of the M8. So it's not the first time they've made a Windows Phone. They were making other Windows phones back when it was Windows Mobile 6 and 7. They had Windows phones then, or even Windows Phone 5 they did. But, hopefully Windows Phone 10, they've got one of their more flagship, like their M9, great processor, because Windows actually is more power efficient than Android, because they had the same hardware with the same HTC M8, and Windows Phone did exceptionally better on battery life. So, I mean, that's something that maybe I mean, maybe it becomes an option, right? If you want the phone that can do it all and better battery life, maybe it's not a bad idea.
Well, they got a huge uphill battle because even let's just talk about apps.
Well,
They're a long ways behind.
They are.
So that's definitely a knock on them. My hope is that with this unannounced HTC partnership is that they actually let HTC do what HTC wants to do. It's not like hey HTC, do you want to make one model with these features, under the HTC brand, almost kind of like, a Nexus device. Like, you get to make one device, we'll put the Microsoft logo on it, and that'll be that. Well, no, I just hope that HTC is actually given free rein to do whatever they need to do and to listen to their customers and come up with some different features and make their phones different than what Nokia is offering, because the more options you give people, the more phones you're going to sell. It worked for Android, and there's no reason it couldn't work for Microsoft. Unfortunately, there's a lot of things going against them right now, but it's not a terrible operating system. So hopefully they can make a go of it, and maybe it's a good fit for people. Yeah, and people are willing to try something new. It's just it has to be better than what they currently have, and with Microsoft always being behind the 8 ball and one step behind Android and iOS, it's been hard to compel anyone to really switch over. So maybe that'll change. Maybe it won't. Maybe we'll be using Blackberries. Who knows?
Exactly. A friend of mine who actually David Wildcat Weeb, who writes for BCC Hardware, he's also got a Windows phone that as his main production phone, not just as a media device. And overall, he loves the device, but his only complaint, and it's a real concern, like you alluded to earlier, is app support.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of apps for a Windows phone, and ultimately, that's what people want is the app that people have. I mean, some people will switch to Apple for specific apps. People will certainly are willing to switch for apps, and I mean, to try and get people to switch to a platform with less app support, I mean, that's the hardest thing right there.
Oh yeah, that's definitely a tough thing to sell, because when these new apps come out, it's never like now available for iOS, Android, and Windows Phone. It's iOS and Android. I mean, that's where 95% of the people are. So of course you're going to make those two platforms, supported on launch day. Windows is a ways behind. So, but the more options are out there, the more phones that get out there, app developers are probably a little more interested in actually making apps for Windows. It's really a David and Goliath kind of battle, though.
Yeah,
like they are so far behind that it's gonna take them a while. We're not gonna look back in 12 months and go, wow, Microsoft Mobile came out of nowhere. We're talking if they can stick around, and if they can actually keep making good devices, it's going to take them a few years of clawing before they get that 10%, and then they get that 15% market share. Yeah. But this isn't going to happen in the next 12 months.
Windows Continuum, Universal Apps. There's huge potential for Windows Phone to dominate the business market, but yet, I mean, to try and get people to switch to a Windows Phone is tough. But I mean, the potential's there, the technology's there. I just don't know how they're going to do it. I mean, maybe if they throw, more money at it. I mean, I don't know how they can what it will take in order to make it great.
Well, throwing money at it's about all they can really do right now. They've definitely tried to do some different features, and really, as a phone, if you had to switch over to a Windows Phone, you wouldn't be giving up much other than some app support of the latest, greatest, trendy apps. You're going to be a while behind before you actually get it for your Windows Phone. So other than that, I think most people could easily switch to a Windows Mobile and be more than happy.
Right. Well, if Microsoft throws enough money at it, it might do well. I mean, who knows? But apparently a bunch of Chinese firms are throwing a bunch of money at Opera browser. And Opera may be selling here.
I don't think maybe. I think they did sell.
Well, they did, but yes. But $1.2 billion is a lot of dollars.
Hey, that's not bad.
Who knew?
It's not bad for a web browser that's kind of fallen by the wayside and really isn't all that popular. There was a time where Opera was definitely making a comeback.
Oh, it was, yeah. I mean, it was one of the first browsers to offer cross-platform bookmark synchronization, right? So you
Yep.
bookmark something on your one computer and it's bookmarked on your other one when you log in. I mean, there's some great features that really spurred along Firefox, Google Chrome.
There was a ton of add-ons that you could do.
Oh, yeah.
As far as media servers and stuff like that, all through your web browser. It was pretty awesome at one point in time.
Right. So it sells out here to a mix of Chinese firms. What are they going to do with it? Do these Chinese companies, do they want to run a browser, or they just want? I mean, what's going on here?
I'm really not sure what they see in it. I think it's more the mobile advertising platform that they're probably going after. As far as a free browser, probably not a lot of value in it, but somebody saw $1.2 billion worth of value in there. The interesting thing is that it represents a 53% premium on their stock. So somebody really wanted them.
Yeah,
They
exactly.
basically paid double.
Yeah, exactly.
So I don't know. There must be something there. Maybe we'll see a resurgence in Opera. Maybe there's just some core technologies that these companies want to snap up. It's hard to say, but this one definitely shocked me when I saw the price tag on it. It's like, oh wow, somebody really wanted these guys, and hopefully it's a good purchase for them. But I guess time will tell if we see a resurgence or not, or if this is the last time you hear of Opera.
Yeah, well, you heard it here last.
Hey, there you go. We might not break as many stories, but we can definitely end stories.
There you go. Another story here that just popped up yesterday, just prior to Mobile World Congress, is coming very, very soon. Samsung, quote unquote, leaked a teaser, which, I mean, there's no way they leaked this. It's on Samsung's Indonesian channel, showing off their Galaxy S7 phone. And according to the video, this sucker is going to be water resistant. Not waterproof.
Yeah, it looks, apparently, I don't speak Korean or whatever language it is. I was hoping you would do a translation for us here live on air.
I can do that as we watch the video.
Sure. Basically, what I got from the video is that this phone, you're able to use it while doing archery in the rain.
Mm-hmm,
so that's good. People have been asking for a phone that it will allow them to archery in the rain.
Right.
Or women's weightlifting. It is certified to do that as well.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, yeah, it seems like the big features are it is waterproof, as well as the charging, wireless charging. So basically, you set it
wireless,
on.
Wireless charging looks to be really rapid.
Yeah.
Of course, it's depending on your charger, right? It's half and half, but obviously you can. So it's a step up. I mean, everybody's phones are evolving very slowly. Samsung has definitely kept up. They really haven't broken any new ground for a lot of years, really blown people's minds. Some
of the other rumored features are their version of 3D Touch.
Mm-hmm.
So they, with their pressure sensitive screen. Also, they're bringing back the micro SD card slot. So if you can add in the production of some applause, that's a good thing. They're also there's the possibility that they'll have an eye scanner. So you can be kind of like Minority Report or whatever futuristic movie.
Yeah, exactly.
So you can unlock your phone with your eyeball. So that'll be good.
Okay.
It beats now when you have to, rub your eyeball on your phone and do that.
That's true, yeah. I use my eye as my fingerprint scanner.
This one will actually use the camera, so that's nice. Better camera.
Well, okay.
That's always a bonus.
Exactly.
So really, nothing too groundbreaking, but it seems like with some of these features, it could lure people back to Samsung, or it could entice them for an upgrade. The micro SD card slot alone makes it a little more intriguing to someone like myself.
Exactly. No, I saw that and thought, well, you will be excited.
Probably the $900 price tag will get rid of that excitement.
Well,
for me
exactly.
really quickly.
Yeah. No, that'll be for the 32 gig model. Don't worry. If you want the 64 or the 128 gig model, I mean, you'll be easy $1,100. No worries.
Yeah.
But again, why would you if you have
I
an
might
SD
need
card
an
slot?
advance on my paycheck.
Exactly.
Talk about that off air. Other things they're talking about better battery performance. They're saying the battery could jump by 38%. So the S7 Edge over the S6 Edge. There was also a rumor that it was going to be cheaper than the S6. So
Well, time will
Well,
tell. Be interesting. I don't think anybody makes stuff cheaper anymore. Hey, do you want to upgrade for less money?
well, hey, if they do it, they'll probably sell a whole lot of phones.
They probably will.
But
Exactly.
but cheaper is kind of relative. You know, if the S6 was a 1100 for the flagship, and now they make it 1050, it's technically cheaper, but
exactly.
it's still not affordable.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right.
But anyways, it looks like a cool phone, and they'll definitely, anytime Samsung releases a new Galaxy device, it makes headlines. They've kind of come into that Apple status where people are very interested to see, you know, what the flagship looks like. And, you know, like you said, it's not going to blow anyone away with, you know, mind-blowing features that you never thought you'd be able to get in a cell phone. But overall, it looks like it looks like it's a decent upgrade.
Yeah.
If you had to pick between an S6 and an S7, you'd probably pick the S7.
Probably. Absolutely. And I guess that's what they're going for, right?
Yeah.
It is nothing. I mean, and it's what the market will support. I mean, I'm sure that honestly, a lot of these companies have the technology to blow our minds. But if they do it incrementally, they make more money than if they come out with something that just revolutionizes the handheld wireless business, right?
So water resistance. Let's talk about that for a second.
Okay.
How important is that to you? Have you ever soaked a phone?
I haven't actually, but I've been maybe lucky or careful or something. I don't know. I
Let's not
haven't.
go with careful. Let's say lucky.
Okay.
You've wrecked enough phones for more than you're above average on your phone wrecking.
Oh man, no, I
Let's
haven't. I haven't wrecked a phone on, and now I'm gonna totally trash something probably. But as far as like accidental damaging a phone, I don't think I've actually wrecked a phone since. Oh boy, like HTC One. No, it was my Windows phone, an HTC Slider Windows phone.
What about your grain auger accident?
Well, that was years ago. That was before
Okay.
these smartphones. I haven't actually wrecked.
What about your Arcos tablet?
Well, okay, fine. I sat on my tablet. Oh gosh,
It's been a while. I do enjoy bringing that up.
Okay, yes, I sat on a tablet, but I have not wrecked a smartphone from water damage or any other damage, actually.
Yeah. No, actually, I've been pretty lucky as well. I can't think of a. I think I've been pretty lucky. I haven't, soaked a phone or put it in the washing machine or anything.
Mm-hmm.
I guess water resistance isn't a thing.
I mean, some people.
Would I pay an extra? How much extra would you pay for water resistance? So, say your next phone is going to be a Galaxy S7, no matter what. How much extra would you pay for water resistance?
No more than $50.
But you would pay $50 if you
I
could
don't
add
know if
water
I
resistance.
would. I mean, I guess I would for insurance, right? I mean, it's kind of insurance. It's like, oh yeah, I can take. I mean, because I've been out in the rain with a phone and I've got my phone wet before. I mean, I have my Galaxy, not my Galaxy, my Nexus 5. I mean, that phone has been used and abused, and it worked fine up until my local telco made me an offer I couldn't refuse on an upgrade. Right?
Yeah.
Didn't have to sign a new contract, and I got a free phone. Well, sure, I'll do that.
So here's the next $1 million question. You're buying your new phone, and they say you could have one of these two features: wireless charging or water resistance.
Oh, I take wireless charging.
Yeah, I think I would too.
Absolutely, I love wireless charging. Never needed.
Hey, but fortunately, if you buy the S6 Galaxy S7, or sorry, the Samsung Galaxy S7, I'll use the proper name for it. You get both those features. So
Nice.
see,
For
best of
one-
both worlds.
for
See,
one low
see what I'm
price.
trying to do.
for 12 easy payments of $100.
Well, don't think of it like that. Think of it as an investment.
Exactly. Okay.
But like, if you watch this commercial, look at how happy everybody is
I
doing
know.
their
I
extreme
know.
sports, and it's all because of the Samsung
It
Galaxy S7.
It is.
Yeah.
It's an investment.
It
Like-
is
Like the Levi Stadium's Wi-Fi network was a big investment. Paid off.
Yeah. So this usually comes out every year. They talk about everything's focused around Super Bowl. Super Bowl has come and gone, and they're talking about just how much data did people actually use in the stadium. So in Levi Stadium, which is in San Francisco, there's 400 miles of data cables.
Right.
There's 12,000 network ports, 1,300 Wi-Fi access points, 1,200 Bluetooth beacons, and they got a 40 gigabit connection. So that's pretty good.
Yeah, that's 40 gigabits. Not bad.
It's not bad. Pretty good for watching YouTube.
It's not 1.1 terabits, but okay, carry on.
But it's not bad. So anyways, using that connection during the game, fans used 10.1 terabytes of data over their Wi-Fi network.
That's incredible.
That's a lot of data. In comparison, last year, 6.2 terabytes of Wi-Fi was used in Phoenix. So definitely people were taking full advantage, and during the Super Bowl shared 10 terabytes of data. Now, 10 terabytes is a lot of data, right?
Quite a bit, yeah.
Now, if you want to add the cell phone data in as well, they were estimating there was about 15.9 terabytes of data used by fans via their wireless carriers. So we're talking like 26 terabytes of data over the game.
Wow. Just from fans at the game.
Just from fans in the stadium.
That's
And
incredible.
there was, Verizon estimated there's 35,000 unique devices connected.
Right, yeah.
So there were 71,000 people in the stadium. Of that, 35,000 of them were connected during the game. So that's a lot of it. Now, interesting enough, they broke down what people were using, and video was the number one thing, 19.8%, which makes sense. You paid $6,000 to go to the game. You probably want to videotape some of, I don't know, the halftime show or some big play and put it on your Facebook just so that people know you were there. So that was 19.8% of the usage. A lot of web browsing, 19.6% was web browsing, 17% was social media sharing, 15.9% was cloud usage.
Yeah, which will be backing up your photos, right? Or video, right?
Yep. It makes sense. 2.29 was music. So people were downloading music during the Super Bowl when they were actually at the Super Bowl.
Right.
Which, well, fine. 1.4 was messaging. Makes sense. 1.3 was email. And 1% was navigation. So I guess.
Where do I get a bag of chips?
It's and then
okay, Google?
20% was classified as other.
Right.
They weren't sure what it was. So this isn't a groundbreaking story, but it's definitely very interesting to see when you have 70,000 people in one confined space, just what they do with their data and how much data they require now.
Yeah, 40 gigabit connection running like a top.
Oh yeah,
whoever put that together did a good job.
Yeah, that was maxed out.
Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah. So, anyways, that was a Super Bowl. It'll probably get every year it'll be more and more data.
You know what the problem is now? I mean, there's fans, like, I heard a couple of comments about the story, like, or the same type of idea, that people were saying the network at the Super Bowl was amazing, and it's the first time that people have said it was amazing. Like for cell connections, because normally you get that many people, even they'll run out of cellular connections.
Oh yeah,
right.
Yeah.
So or even IPs to dish out for Wi-Fi. I mean, it's incredible how they pulled this off, but now that sets the bar like really high for next year.
It is amazing how these companies have been able to increase their capacity for big events. We used to always see this with CES. The joke was you had data on your phone at CES.
Right.
Because everybody had data on their phone at CES, and it just bogged everything down, and you couldn't use your data. So there wasn't really any point getting a data plan if you were going to Vegas, because It was basically just crashed. But now every year they must have had temporary connections or whatever it is. But you don't have those problems that you used to have.
Don't. That's right. It's not the fastest
now
data.
People are using 100 times the data they were 10 years ago or 5 years ago.
Well, that's right. Exactly.
It's amazing to see.
Exactly.
And just the technology behind it. That's 70,000 people in a small area.
Well, yeah,
and
exactly.
You were able to concurrently connect 35,000 of them without an issue, and people were like, wow, this is still awesome.
Exactly. 35,000 connected and happy users.
Yeah, that's just crazy. It's actually quite mind-boggling the amount of data that's swirling around an arena like that.
And the thing that scares me, though, is that I'm connected to a public Wi-Fi or Bluetooth connection. Like they said, there's Bluetooth hubs, beacons, and everything else. So I'm sitting there connected to that without a VPN, basically exposing my phone to a very, very big pool of people who could, be trying to share or push files or whatever that I don't want in my device. There's a reason why.
I think everyone paid enough to go to the game that they probably weren't really worried about or having the time to worry about, trying to hack onto people's phones.
Right. No, I understand that. But all it would take was a VPN to stop any potential for that. And yet.
But VPNs are bad.
Well, exactly. Apparently. Netflix put a war on VPN, saying that your people are using them just to steal shows from regions that they don't belong to, and now PayPal, which is banking, is transferring money. Now they don't want you to use a VPN either. That's the time I would want to use a VPN.
Well, they don't really care if you use it; they just don't want to be the ones paying for it.
Right.
So basically, they're starting to crack down on VPN providers and restricting them to be able to use PayPal as a payment source to buy a VPN. That's, I guess if I'm not sure why VPN is the enemy.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, so VPN provide. Yeah, they can. Yeah, it's just. If you're on a VPN, I mean, these companies, they want to take your money. VPN companies want to take your money. They want you to use their service. And now PayPal's not letting certain companies that have these banned IPs, basically, like the Netflix bans them or whatever. They're not letting these people take money by PayPal unless they get new IPs, which whatever.
I mean, I guess there is always a potential that people can use VPN for bad reasons.
Right.
But you can use the internet for bad reasons. So if you're using this reasoning, you basically say, well, why don't we just ban the internet?
Well, exactly. It makes no sense.
And so I don't know. Maybe there's something else. Maybe PayPal has a high number of VPN companies that are not providing the services and they're having to try to refund people's money, or maybe there's something more to it, but it's just really strange that everybody's jumping on this VPN is bad bandwagon. And, I don't know, Netflix is kind of getting painted with the brush saying, that they're kind of the ones declaring war on VPN. I think it's bigger than that. I think it's definitely these movie studios and everything that are making Netflix wage this war. And it's kind of interesting to see that PayPal's the next ones to jump on this. And, it really feels to me like, I guess we've covered technology long enough that this is really the whole BitTorrent argument.
Yeah.
The technology behind BitTorrent is amazing. It is fantastic. There's a lot of good uses for BitTorrent. You can also use BitTorrent to steal movies and do it. But does that mean that BitTorrent should just be, outlawed?
I wouldn't think so, honestly, because you can.
But now VPNs is, kind of in the same boat. It is a very legitimate service for security, and but everyone's like, no, VPN's bad. People just use that to steal movies, and it's like, well, I don't know. It's strange. So I have a feeling we're going to see a lot more of this, and I think that all of these movie studios and media companies, music and all that kind of stuff, they're definitely going to keep this war on VPN and definitely try to convince the public that VPN is all bad. And so far, I'd say they're kind of winning.
Well, they are, but there's no way they should. According to the email, PayPal sent an email to Unotelli, is the VPN company under the gun right now. The PayPal said, under the PayPal acceptable use policy, PayPal may not be used to send or receive payments for items that infringe or violate any copyright, trademark, right of publicity or privacy, or any other proprietary right under the laws of any jurisdiction. So I guess they're selling, it's not piracy. I guess they're selling the somebody who's selling a service for the right of privacy. And according to PayPal, you have no right to privacy according to their terms of service. So if you're buying something that gives you privacy, PayPal can say, well, you can't use it for that.
Well, then on this,
wait a minute. I use a browser.
You shouldn't be able to buy. You can't buy cameras either, because technically, I could use a camera to take a picture of a trademark.
Oh, so, yeah, exactly. It's such bull.
Yeah. So I'm not sure what they're trying to get at, but they're joining in on the war against VPN, which is.
Well, it looks like VPNs are losing at the moment.
It's too bad. It's stupid. I mean, and then that's the thing is, there's a lot of things you can do to enhance your privacy and your security on the internet, but there's a lot of companies that are in the business of not wanting you to do that.
Exactly, and PayPal's one of them now, which is weird.
It's big business for you not to be secure.
Right. Well, it is, but you'd think that PayPal would not be the company that would be encouraging less security.
Well, hopefully they kind of decide that maybe they should leave VPN alone and let people connect to the internet the way they want to connect to the internet.
Right. I mean, admittedly, I was using a VPN to watch Netflix before Netflix blocked VPNs, blocked the unblockers. That being said, I still use a VPN almost all day, every day on my cell phone, as well as my desktop, because, I guess there's a reason why I don't use antivirus, right? Because I try and be secure. I surf smart. I take care of my computers, my devices. And one way I can do that is through a VPN. And I would rather pay money to have my stuff tunneled through a VPN where all you're doing is just changing the route, a secure route, rather than having some software running that slows my system down, that is potentially inspecting stuff and sending it to HQ, and they're ratting out what files I'm using, how many times I launch Microsoft Word and stuff like that. VPN doesn't care.
But as far as a disclaimer goes, you're saying, well, I take steps to be safe. That's why I don't have the virus detection. You're also accepting the fact that if you do get a virus and you have to rebuild your whole system, you're taking that chance.
That's right.
You're, by doing proper backups, doing backups in multiple sources, you're doing all sorts of things. The average person, there are simple things like virus detectors and like security software to help protect you.
Yes.
So it's not a bad thing. I mean, yeah.
Right. I guess a VPN is a tool in my toolbox, right?
Yep.
And
exactly.
I use it all day, almost every day. Whatever. So
but you're apparently one of the bad guys, because it can also be used to infringe copyright, trademark, or rights of publicity or privacy. So
that's true. Maybe that's what Twitter needs, is a scandal of some sort to keep them.
Well, it would probably be good for them to have something other than people talking about that their stock is dropping.
Exactly.
But actually, yeah, in addition to that, they also released how many users they added over the last 3 months of 2015. Any guesses?
Well, I read the story.
Okay. Well, then pretend like you didn't read the story. How many would you have said?
I'm going to say they added somewhere in the neighborhood of, in the last 2 months, let's go 100,000 a month.
Well, you're wrong.
I know.
Yeah. So anyways, so just to make things even worse, they had to announce how many users they'd added in the last 3 months of 2015, which was, drumroll please, minus 2 million. They lost 2 million users. That doesn't make shareholders happy.
No, 12% after hours trading loss.
Yeah.
No, geez,
that's bad news.
This is bad. Yeah. So even Instagram surpassed Twitter.
Yeah. So Twitter now has 305 million active users. Fantastic, right? That's a lot of people. That's as many people as are in the United States, approximately.
Right.
Facebook, they've got 1.6 billion, so they are a little over 5 times bigger. Google has 8 products that have 1 billion users each, and even Instagram now has 400 million. So Twitter is falling to they're falling down the list, and they're losing users, and that's not a good thing. They're trying to add a few new features to try to get people to come back to Twitter, but as we've kind of noticed in social media, once people start leaving your social media platform, they don't normally come back.
Exactly.
We could point to MySpace. There's lots of other companies that are no longer around.
GeoCities?
Well, yeah, GeoCities in a sense.
Right.
GeoCities got bought up by a bigger company and kind of phased out.
But they still,
one
yeah.
like MySpace, it was the big guys. Like MySpace was, everyone had MySpace, and then everyone got rid of MySpace, and then they came back, and nobody followed them back. So
Exactly.
they're in a tough spot here, and really, as far as Twitter goes, probably the next 12 months are the make or break.
Yeah. Well, I think so. I mean, if Twitter can't...
if you stay at the same or you lose users over the next 12 months, it's pretty much game over, I would say. If somehow you're miraculously able to add new features and get people to come back and actually start to grow again, you might have a fighting chance. But unfortunately, it kind of seems like Twitter's on this downslope, and obviously their executives bailing isn't helping. It isn't giving people anything to. Well, it's not giving their investors anything to feel warm and fuzzy about. But yeah, third quarter 2015, 307 million users. Fourth quarter, 305, 1% loss.
That's not great.
No. And over the previous year, they grew 6%. So it hasn't been like their users are going up at a crazy rate. Basically, that was be 12 million users added the year before, and they just lost 2 million of those. So
exactly. Well,
and then there's the big old problem of Twitter where a lot of accounts have never tweeted. So
they say that's active users, right?
I don't believe it.
Well, I don't believe that there's 1.6 billion active Facebook accounts either.
Hey, Mark wouldn't lie to us.
Okay, next story.
Okay.
Speaking of Mark,
this coincidentally is a Facebook story.
Exactly. So Facebook apparently is a great source for information that, it's on the internet, so it's true. Well,
when you talk to a lot of people, they act like everything on Facebook is really true.
Yes.
So anyways, this is a big article, and I won't try to read it to you or pretend like I know all the details of it. But basically, they were this new study. Where was it even coming out of?
This is out of Bloomberg.
Italy. So anyways, they were exploring the behavior of Facebook users from 2010 to 2014. So this is quite a long study. One of the study's goals was to test a question that continues to be sharply disputed. When people are online, do they encounter opposing views, or do they create the virtual equivalent of a gated community? So basically, are people on the internet, what do they believe? Do they believe just kind of what their friends believe, or are they actually willing to go out there and do the research? And pretty much in the end, they found that by making fake conspiracy theories and all this other stuff, they were able to basically get people to believe it because they saw it on Facebook. And most people did not do any research into seeing if it was actually true or not.
Yeah.
And pretty much in the end, people just create like-minded communities, and if they don't like you because you have an opposing view, they probably are just going to block you and just add more people who believe that the earth is flat.
Exactly.
And stuff like that.
Oh, it's unbelievable.
Which, if you want a good laugh, search the earth is flat. Now, they do have some good arguments, and there's, it's interesting to hear, but I think we've all, I think most people can probably accept the fact that the world is actually round.
Right.
So.
But I mean, that's the same, like, it's amazing adults, right? We assume that adults should be a bit more mature, should be a bit more open-minded, should be a bit more understanding. But with adults, it seems like people over the age of 25, if they don't like what you're saying, they block you and just find more people who do.
Yeah.
Who agree with them, even if it's like ridiculous. I mean, I've had a few conversations with family members that they read something and like, well, that's the way it is. I saw it on Facebook. I'm like, did you actually even read the article, or did you just see the headline? And 90%.
Like, what do you mean the Onion? What do you mean the Onion isn't a reputable source?
Exactly.
Explain to them that there are a lot of sites out there that get a lot of views by putting up really stupid things. And it's, well, I guess all you have to look at is how many people still post these things. It's like, oh, Mark Zuckerberg's giving, $100 billion to users.
Exactly.
Reshare this thing and, you'll get $1 million. And it's like, people are like, well, I might as well try. And it's like, yeah, but this has been going on for 10 years.
Right.
Mark Zuckerberg isn't giving $100 billion to anybody.
No.
Much less people who are sharing his stupid status on Facebook. But it's amazing, like how, that those have been around for years and years and years. And it's probably no more than a week goes by when I log in and I see at least one of them, or it's like, share the status, and BMW is giving away 100 cars, and people are like, well, I want a BMW. Like, it's incredible.
But so Facebook basically makes us dumber.
Pretty much. This research basically shows that Facebook just doesn't make us any smarter. It actually makes us dumber, and it pretty much just believe it. Yeah, it pretty much just makes you. Pretty much, most people just delete people that don't agree with them anyway.
Yeah,
they feel warm and fuzzy because everybody on their friend list, agrees with them, and when they post their crazy ideas on there, everybody's like.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, I encourage you to head over to BCC Hardware's Facebook page, and you can like the page, and if you don't agree with something on it, I mean, I guess whatever, but...
like it anyways.
Yeah, like it anyhow. Reality is, I don't care if you disagree with us. I'm mature enough, or I pretend to be mature enough, to enjoy a good debate. That's the thing, right? I mean, anymore, too. Well, I'm ranting here as we close, but debating is a lost art. I mean, people, it's a straight up argument. You disagree with me, I'm mad at you.
Or it's hate speech.
Well, exactly. I mean, let's debate. Let's discuss. Anyhow, so if you want to discuss more of this, you can head over to weeklytechupdate.com. The show notes will be up there, so you can take a look at all the links that we talked about in the show. Of course, you can get the download there, and of course, we are also on iTunes or podcast.org or wherever you find podcasts are distributed. Head over and check out Weekly Tech Update. Jason, thanks so much for joining us once again. I was going to post on Twitter, but apparently there's no point.
Yeah, nobody's there anymore, so anyways, we'll see you next week.
We'll catch you next week.